Hello students, welcome to the 8th part of video lecture for the first chapter of Strength of Material. Here in this video, we will continue with the study of relationship between Young's modulus and modulus of rigidity. Modulus of rigidity means the ratio of shear stress to shear strain. Now you have to understand that what do you mean by shear strain and shear stress. As shown in the figure ABCD, the AD is fixed, the BC is free. Now we are going to apply the shear stress along B to C and D to A. There is a deformation takes place along BC, that is causing the deformation from BC to B double dash C double dash. And in this way the body is distorted from AB CD to AB double dash C double dash D. During the distortion of the body from ABCD to AB double dash C double dash D, there is a angular deformation takes place at the transverse side AB to AB double dash and DC to DC double dash D with angular deformation phi. This angular deformation is known as the shear strain. The shear strain is calculated from the diagonal AC. The diagonal AC will be changed to AC double dash with the application of shear stress. Now the shear strain is equal to CC dash by CD. If we are considering the ratio of shear stress to shear strain, that will give us the modulus of rigidity. Now what do you mean by Young's modulus? According to the Hooke's law, we know that if the material is loaded with an elastic limit, then the ratio of stress to strain is known as the Young's modulus. Now let us consider that how the diagonal stresses are equal to shear stress. Considering the figure ABCD, this system is known as a body is in simple shear. Means what? There are two shear stresses which are causing the body to rotate along clockwise direction. Another shear stresses will causing the body to rotate along anti-clockwise direction. For stationary condition of the ABCD body, the clockwise motion of the body should be restricted by the anti-clockwise motion of the body. Now how it is caused? The shear stress BC and DC will causing that diagonal to increase at C point. The DA shear stress and BA shear stress, this also causes the increase of length of AC at point A. That means the diagonal AC will increase its length due to the shear stress combined effect at BA and DA. Similarly at BC and DC. As the length of diagonal AC is increasing, so it is considered that there is a diagonal tensile stress is acting upon it. While this time the shear stress BA and BC causing the tensile stress at C and A point, they are causing the compression at point B and D point. How to understand this? We know that if two stresses or two forces are acting simultaneously at point, then the resultant will be crushing through its intersection point and the magnitude will be opposite to that of the applied forces. Here this shear stress are causing that there is a diagonal stress reduced, and this diagonal stress will causing the diagonal BD to decrease its length at point B. The shear stress BA and BC will cause a resultant force at diagonal BD. This will decrease the diagonal BD at point B. Similarly, the shear stress DC and DA, it also causes a resultant stress, and this will decrease the diagonal BD at D point. In this way, during the body is subjected to simple shear, there are two types of stresses are caused along the diagonal BD and AC. The diagonal AC is subjected to tensile stress and the BD is subjected to compressive stress. Both tensile and compressive stresses are caused during the shear stress applied upon the all sides of the body. So, it is considered that for equilibrium of body, the diagonal stresses should be equal to the stresses applied along the all sides of the body. That is, direct stress is equal to shear stress, sigma is equal to tau. On the figure, first figure, we have seen that the diagonal AC is going to change to AC double dash. Now, there is a change in length of the diagonal takes place. That is, the strain in diagonal AC is equal to longitudinal strain along AC and lateral strain along BD. We know that Poisson's ratio is equal to lateral strain by longitudinal strain. If we are considering about AC axis, then the strain produced along BD is known as a lateral strain. Now, the longitudinal strain along AC equal to sigma by E minus the strain along BD is known as a lateral strain. That is, strain is equal to longitudinal strain is equal to sigma by E into mu gives us the lateral strain. Here BD decreases and AC increases. Hence, here I am writing here sigma by E minus lateral strain along BD. So, lateral strain along BD is compressive one. So, I am written here minus mu into longitudinal strain sigma by E. From this, we are finding that sigma by E plus mu into sigma by E. And taking sigma by E as common, that is sigma E whole bracket 1 plus mu. Now, we are considering that sigma is equal to shear stress. Now, sigma can be replaced with tau. Now, EC is equal to, now EAC is equal to tau by E whole bracket 1 plus mu. Now, how to find out the diagonal strain? We know that diagonal strain AC is equal to increase in length. So, AC double dash minus original length AC divided by AC. So, from this we are going to put a perpendicular from point C to F, that is CF upon AC double dash. Now, we are getting AF is equal to AC. Now, we are putting this value AC as AF. Now, the rest of increase in length is equal to FC double dash. So, AC double dash minus AC is equal to FC double dash by AC. Now, from triangle C double dash F, C double dash F, we are getting that cos 45 degree is equal to B by H. So, B by H means FC dash divided by CC dash. Now, FC dash double dash is equal to CC double dash into cos 45. There is a question may arise that why we are taking 45 degree, because there is a very little small angle of increase of angle, so we are not considering this and we are taking 45 degree as your theta. Now we are getting that FC double dash by AC, that is equal to CC double dash cos 45. AC, we know that for side AD, if we are taking if I am calculating AC diagonal, then AC will be equal to square root of side AD. Now this cos 45 degree into CC5 is equal to 5 by root 2 into root 2, that is equal to 5 by 2. Now strain in AC is equal to 5 by 2. From equation 1 we are having EAC is equal to tau by E 1 plus mu. Another is EAC is equal to 5 by 2. Now equating both the equation, we are having EAC is equal to 5 by 2 equal to tau by E whole bracket 1 plus mu. Now taking E to left side, now we are getting tau by 5 by 2 whole bracket 1 plus mu. Now this tau by 5 is known as your modulus of rigidity, that is shear stress by shear strain. 2 will be multiplied with the numerator. Now 2 into G 1 plus 2. So from here we are concluding that the relationship between E and G is known as your E is equal to 2G 1 plus 2. So now we are getting that E is equal to 2G 1 plus mu as E and G relationship. From E and K relationship, E is equal to 3K 1 minus 2. Now E by 2G is equal to 1 plus mu, E by 3K is equal to 1 minus 2 mu. Now solving these two equations, E by 3K plus E by G equal to 3. Now taking the value as LCM 3kg is equal to G plus 3k by 3kg into E is equal to 3. That is 9 kg by 3k plus G is equal to E. So the relationship between E, G and K is given as 9 kg by 3k plus G. In this way we are considering that E is equal to 3k 1 minus 2 mu and another is your E is equal to 2G 1 plus mu. And both equations are solved, and solving these two equations we are getting that EGK relationship as E is equal to 9 kg by 3k plus G.